അതേപോലെ අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ questions ටික. Okay. Now we can start to discuss the questions. There are 7 questions. First question. First and second questions, actually there is only one vector. First question, 40 Newton force is exerted 60 degree with a 60 degree angle with the horizontal there. So you have to resolve this one into x and y direction. So what is the x component? X component. If you resolve this one into x direction, what would be the x component? What would be the x component? Answer. What is this component again? Yes. Yes. It should be 40. Now you are resolving it into the direction of the angle. That means cos. And it should be cos to the 40 cos 60. 40 cos 60. 40 cos 60. Cos 60 means half to put it. Cos 60 is equal to half. Therefore, 40 into half means 20 Newton. Then y component. Y component is in upward direction. But you have to mark the direction also. You have to mark the direction also. It should be 40 sin 60. One is cos 60, other one should be sin 60. 40 sin 60. Sin 60 means this one into root 3. 40 into root 3 over 2. That means 20 root 3. If you got these answers, please raise the hand. If you got these answers, please raise the hand. मैं आंसर करते ना तो उसमें. Very good. Second one. √2. 50√2. This angle is 60. Sorry, no, 6 is 30. This angle is 30. Now tell me, what is the x component? What is x component? X component? X component. So when you resolve this one into x direction, it will be 50√2 into the direction of angle. Therefore, it should be cos. Cos. Angle. If you resolve this one into the side of angle, it will be cos 2. Then 50√2 cos 60, cos 30, cos 30. Cos 30 means √3 over 2. √3 over 2. That means 50√2 √3 over 2. Okay, 2 to 50 will be cancelled out. 55, 25. √2 into √3 means √6. Therefore, answer is 25√6 Newton into right hand side. If you got this answer, please raise the hand. May I answer it better, Natusha? Okay. Then y component. Y component, it should be upward direction. It should be, if this one is cos, other one is should be sin 50√2 sin 30. Sin 30 means half. 50 into half means 25√2 Newton. This is in upward direction. It is in upward direction. Then third one. (90√3) Uday, you are given the entire angle which is 210. 210 means from here to here angle. Alright. Now you are given this entire angle, 210. 210 Puday. And so when you are resolving this into horizontal or vertical, you have to determine the angle between this vector and either between horizontal or vertical. So this angle is not the angle between the vector and the horizontal or vertical. Therefore, you have to determine the angle first. And so if it is 210, this should be 30. It should be 30. This should be 30. Therefore, first thing you have to determine this angle, then you can determine the direction. So, component. So, if this one is 210, this angle should be 30. This angle should be 30. 30. Therefore, you have to resolve into the direction of angle to get x component. Now, the direction of x component is into this side, left hand side. No need to mark minus because we don't know plus direction or minus direction. We don't know. And therefore, you can, because this is only single force. No? This is only single force. Therefore, any direction can be positive. Yeah? Therefore, just mark the direction. Just mark the direction. Don't put plus or minus because this is only a single force. This is only a single force. Therefore, any direction can be positive direction. And no need to worry about that thing. Therefore, just you need to mark the direction only. Then it should be 90 root 3 cos 30. 90 root 3 cos 30. If you got this one, please raise the hand. Then 90 root 3 cos 30 means root 3 over 2. So then 2 to 90 will be cancelled out 45. Root 3 into root 3 means 3. 3 into 45 means 135 Newton. 135 Newton in x direction. 26. Then the y component. Y component is in downward direction. Downward direction is anyone? Yeah, downward direction. 90 root 3 sin 30. 90 root 3 sin 30. You know sin 30 is half Pute. Half, that means you have to divide this by 2 Pute. That means 45 root 3 Newton. Is that clear? If it is clear, please raise that to salary. Next. Now you are given force system. Force systems. Okay, fourth one. Now there's a force system. To this direction, 30 Newton, that is in x direction. 40 root 3 Newton. 40. Then this angle is 60 Newton. 60 Newton. 60 Newton. 60 Newton. Right. Now, first you can take the x components. X component. So I can take this direction as a positive direction. Then this one, 30 Newton. It is directed towards the given direction. Therefore, no need to resolve that thing. That is 30. Then 40 root 3 cos 30. 40 root 3. You have to resolve this one into the direction of angle. 40 root 3 cos 30. Both are positive because both are in the direction of positive direction. Both are into the positive direction. Then this one is into the other direction, therefore it will be negative. 60 sin 60, because angle is there, you have to resolve this one into the other direction. Therefore 60 sin 60. 60 sin 60. Negative 60 sin 60. So look around. 30 to the here root 3 over 2. That means you have divided by this one by 2. It will be 20. Root 3 into root 3 means 3 Pute. 3 into 20 means 60. 60 plus 30 means 90. 60 plus 30 means 90 minus 90. 90 minus 60 sin 30. 60 sin 30 means root 3 over sin 60. Sin 60. Root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 3 is 30. Root 3. Okay. Weathering has 1.7 1.71 1.71 means 17 into 3. 17 into 3 means 51. 1.71. You have to mark 1.7. 1.7 is enough. 1.7 means 1.7 into 30 means 3 into 17. 3 into 17, that means 51. 51 minus 90 means 39. Therefore, this one should be 39 Newton into this rule. Now, mama, එකපාරට හිතෙන් කරේ මෙහෙම හිතෙන් කරන්න. ලියලා ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. 30 means 10 into 3 නේ පුතේ. 10 into 3. 1.7 නේ. 1.7 means 1.7 into 10 means 17. That means 17 into 3. That means 51. 51 minus 19 means 39. Is that clear? මේ තේරුණා තුෂා? If you got that up, please raise hand. Okay. Then y direction. Y. Online ganda. No, I'm going to take it as upward direction. Upward direction. Negative. 40 sine 30, 40 root 3. This one is cos putih and it sine 30. Minus, this one is in downward direction, 60 cos 60. 60, मैं बता रही थी क्या ने cos 60. 60 cos 60. Putih, here there is no force because there is into the horizontal direction, therefore vertical component should be 0. Look at this one. 40 root 3 into sine 30 means half. Therefore, you have divided this by 2. 20 root 3. 20 root 3 minus 60 cos 30. So cos 60. Cos 60 means half. That means 30. Again, you have to put 1.7 on 1.7. 1.7 into 20. That means 17 into 2. 17 into 2 means 34. 1.7 into 20 means 17 into 2. You get again 40, 34. Minus 30. That means 40. Enough calculation. Therefore, this vector system is reduced, can be reduced to two perpendicular forces. One is 4 Newton in upward direction, other one is 39 Newton in right hand side. Those are two perpendicular. If you got that one, please raise the hand. If you want to write anything, now you are free to write. Fifth one. 100 root 3, 30, 45, 40 root 2, 90 root 3, this one is 30, 60, 100. So this is the force system. This is the force system. Fifth question. Then you have to resolve this into x direction. So if you resolve this into x direction, this will be positive cos 100 root 3 cos 30. පුතේ පාර මේ ඇන්ගල් එක ඕනනම් ගන්නත් පුළුවන් මේක ගන්නත් පුළුවන් කවන්න ඕන එක ගන්න 40 root 2 ඒකත් පොසිටිව් පුතේ sin 45 ඊළඟට these two will be negative 90 root 3 cos 30 90 root 3 cos 30 negative 90 root 3 cos 30 ඊළඟට ඕන ආන මෙතන ඇන්ගල් එක ඔයාලා මෙතන 30 නේද ඕන 30 විතර ගන්නත් පුළුවන් ඒක මේක ඇන්ගල් sin කියලා ගන්නත් පුළුවන් ඕන එක ඕනම විතර ගන්න මොකද 30 so if it is 30 right? If you resolve this one into this side it will be 100 Newton cos 30 cos 30 is equal sin 60 we know that thing both are same and both are same because wow මෙතන cos 30 කියලා කිව්වොත් කමන්නේ sin 60 කිව්වොත් කමන්නේ දෙක 100 cos 30 because if you consider about this angle when resolving this force if you consider this angle then you are going to resolve into the opposite direction of angle then it will be sin 60 but if you consider about this angle you are going to resolve into the angle then it will be cos 30 cos 30 and sin 60 both are same only 90 minus 3 then both are same One simplification. If you got this one, please raise the hand. If you got this one, please raise the hand. 100 root 3 cos 30. Cos 30 means root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2. If you divide it by this one by 2, 50. 50 into 3 means 150. 150 then I select Lilia in Namama. ඉතින් කරනවා මේ බාරමං කරපු දේ root 3 over 2 පුතේ that means you have divided this by 2 if you divide this by 2 is 50 root 3 into root 3 means 3 ne පුතේ root 3 into root 3 means 3 50 into 3 means 150 you can do it in one single step puti in one single step if you got my calculation please raise the hand my calculation එක දෙන්න නතුසන් Okay. Okay. Then plus 40 root 2, 1 over root 2. Sin 45 is 1 over root 2. Then root 2 to root 2 will be cancelled out. Root 2 to root 2 will be cancelled out. Answer is 40. Answer is 40. Oh, sorry. Very sorry. Is that clear? May I tell you some? Answer is 4. Then 90 root 3 cos 30 means again root 3 over 2. 2 will be, so 90 will be divided by 2, that means 40. Put 40 into root 3 into root 3 means 3. 40 into 3 means 45. 45 into 3 means 135 minus 135. 135. Now, with an 100 data. 100 cos 30. Cos 30 means root 3 over 2. But root 3 over 2 means 50 into root 3. 50 into root 3 means 17 into 5. 17 into 5. 50 into root 3 means 17 into 5. 17 into 5 means 85. 85. If you got my calculation, please raise the hand. Three another calculation. Magapara. And लगता है आपने अवेला नहीं होगी मेकिंग करन नो मान की आंसर बदलेगा तो क्या 190 माइनस मतलब होते हैं 220 220 that means minus 30 minus 30 Newton. Minus 30 Newton means now the x direction should be in opposite direction. Therefore, its component should be 30 Newton force in this side. If you got that one, please raise them. They are not used. Maybe minus then the y component. What is y component? Hundred to 3 cos 60 angle like 16 होते cos 60 के लगा मैं पता रिसोल्व करा मेरा 16 cos 60 100 to 3 cos 60 this angle is 60 90 root 3 cos 60 both are positive 90 root 3 cos 60 then this one these two 100 cos 60 minus 100 cos 60 minus 100 cos 60 minus 100 cos 60 minus 100 cos 60. If you resolve this one into here, minus 40 root 3 cos 45 minus 40 root 2 cos 45. If you got this one, please raise the hand. Whether cos 60 or the sin 30 whether cos 60 or sin 30 that one also correct. Cos 60 cos 60 cos 60 cos 60 cos 60 cos 60 means sorry 100 root 3 90 root 3 means 190 root 3 190 root 3 cos 60 190 root 3 cos 60 means cos 60 should be divided by 2 puthe like 2 being divided both 85 85 root 3 100 100 root 3 into cos 60 means 50 root 3 50 root 3 मतलब 45 root 3 मतलब इन्हें cos 60 is bargain 45 root 3 that means 55 root 3 then कतर करते जितनी 190 divided by 2 मतलब 90 sorry 95 root 3 95 95 85 and 90 95 root 3 minus method है ना पुते 100 into cos 60 means half 100 into half means 50 method है 1 over root 2 means root 2 to root 2 will be cancelled out 40 50 minus 40 50 minus 40 means 90 50 minus 40 means 90 50 minus 40 means 90 well, 95 into root 3 means 1.7 1.7. 95 into 1.7. 72 then 1.7. This one 35. Right? Gila. Right? 161.5. 161.5 minus 90. That means 71.5. 71.5 Newton per hour. That is into upper direction. That is into upper direction. Is that clear? If it is clear, please raise that there or something. Okay. Very good. Very good. The other two questions will be discussed after this theory lesson. Okay. Now write a question. Write a topic. The resultant vector of a vector system. The resultant vector of a vector system. Suppose you are given a vector system like this. Now you are given a vector system like this. In Newton, 14 Newton, 40 Newton, 53 Newton, 100 Newton, 42 Newton, like this. So if you are given a system of force or system of forces, system of vectors, how to take the resultant force? How to take the result force? So you know, if you are given two vectors, like this, then you can easily determine the resultant force. Then you can determine the resultant force. No? That is the only thing you can apply. If you are given two vectors, then you can determine the resultant vector using vector paradigm law. But if you are given more than two vectors, then how to do that? Sometimes you may be given 10 vectors, 20 vectors, 15 vectors, any number of vectors. Then how to do that? Can anyone give me a proposal? Hmm? Pute, if you are given the vector system, in this way, means if all the vectors are acting at the same initial point. If you are given the vector system like this, that means if all the vectors are starting from the same initial point, then our previous knowledge can be applied. Now there are so many vectors to put here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vectors. But instead of 5 vectors, I can reduce them into 2. How to do that? I can reduce those number of vectors. Into 2 vectors. How to do that, Puthi? How to do that? I can reduce this vector into 2 vectors. How to reduce? How to reduce the vector system into 2 vectors? Now you know the method. Tell me the answer. How to හිතලා කියන්න බලන්න. හිතන්න ඕන ළමෙක් ඉන්නවා කියලා බලන්න. How to reduce a vector system? How to reduce a vector system into 2 vectors? Vector system එකක් vector දෙකකට කොහොමද අපි reduce කරගන්නේ? Yes, Pute. We can resolve this vector system into two perpendicular directions. If you resolve this vector system into x and y directions, then we can resolve or we can equate this vector system into two components in each direction. Now this vector system is equivalent to this one. Now it is very easy to find the R, find the resultant vector. Now it is very easy to find the resultant vector with a resultant vector square is equal p square plus q square. That's all. That's all. Therefore, first you have to resolve the vector into two perpendicular directions, then you can take the resultant of it. Now you can then take the resultant of it. Q, here P, here's the R. This one is equal to square root P square plus Q square. Is that clear? If my argument is clear, please raise the hand. Payana my argument. No. Why? Balan. If you are given, suppose this one. If you are given two vectors, 3 Newton and 4 Newton, can you take the resultant force? Can you take the resultant force? Tell me. If you are given two vectors, can you take the resultant force? Yes, you can. But if you are given more than two vectors, can you take the resultant force easily? No, you can't. But you can reduce the number of vectors into two. How to do that? You can equate or you can take the resolve component. You can take the resolve component in two perpendicular directions. Therefore, this vector system is equivalent to these two vectors in two perpendicular directions. Therefore, instead of taking this vector system, I can take these two vectors because these two are equal. This vector system is equal to this one. Therefore, instead of considering this vector system, I can consider these two vectors which are in perpendicular direction. As they are in two perpendicular direction, very easy to take the resultant vector that is equal to square root p square plus q square. Is that clear? If it is clear, please raise the hand. So this is one method. So this method is applicable when the vector system is acting, when all the vectors in the vector systems, when the system are acting at the same single point. ඔක්කොම එකම point එකේ තමයි මේක act කරන්නේ. එහෙමනම් අපිට මේක දාන්න පුළුවන් ලේසි. හරිද? කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැත්නම් දාන්න පුළුවන් ඉතින්. නමුත් මේව දාන්න පුළුවන්. මේක එකපාර දාන්න. But sometimes you may be given a vector system or system of vector in a geometrical representation. Okay. So in such cases, we can directly apply our initial argument, which is vector addition principle. We can apply vector addition principle directly if we are given a vector system as a geometrical representation. Vector system එක geometrical representation එකක් විදිහට දුන්නොත් අපිට principle of vector addition කෙලින්ම apply කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපි ඒක ඊළඟට කතා කරමු. But if you are given a vector system in this way, that means if if all the vectors of the vector system, if all the vectors of the vector system are acting at the same single point, then we can apply resolving method. Resolving method. Therefore, actually, when we are taking the resultant vector, when we are taking the resultant vector of a vector system, okay, there are two major major methods, major procedures. First one is resolving method. First one is resolving method. Second one is principle of vector addition. Principle of vector addition means our basic principle, and that one can be applicable. And both methods can be applicable. First of all, we can discuss this method. Okay. Then I topic resultant of a vector system. Resultant of a vector system. Then write on this. We know how to take the resultant vector. We know how to take the resultant vector of resultant vector of two given vectors. Two given vectors. In such case, we can apply vector parallelogram principle. In such case, we can apply vector parallelogram principle to determine the resultant vector. In such case, we can apply the vector parallelogram principle to determine the resultant vector. Okay, now draw the vector system today. Only the vector system. Only the vector system. Don't draw this one. Don't draw this one. Just draw the vector system. Okay. Then I got this. If we are given more than two vectors, if we are given more than two vectors, To find the resultant, we can use the following two methods. We can use the following two methods. One, the resolving method. Number two, principle of integration. Okay. They write number one. They write another topic. Number one, resolving method. Resolving method. It is a subtopic. It is a subtopic. Resolving method. We can reduce. We can reduce the number of vectors. The number of vectors. We can reduce the number of vectors in a vector system. We can reduce the number of vectors in a vector system into two perpendicular vectors. Into two perpendicular vectors. Into two perpendicular vectors by vector resolving method. By vector resolving method. Then we can take the resultant vector. Then we can take the resultant vector. Then we can take the resultant vector of those two vectors. Of those two vectors. Okay, now you can draw this one. Draw this one. This is equal to these two components, and then we can take the resulting force. Actually, initially, I have reduced the number of vectors into two vectors by resolving, then into one single vector by taking the resultant. So finally, using two processes, we have reduced the number of vectors in this vector system into one single vector. That means this should be the resultant. Is that clear? If it is clear, please raise the hand. They don't understand. Okay. Now, please draw this up. Once you complete drawing, you have done resolving. In fourth, fifth, and sixth and seventh questions in first question of the. We have done up to the question number 5. There are 4 vector system. Vector system Now, determine the resultant vector of those 4 vector systems. Okay. In previous question, put the question number 1. In previous question, resolving part of it, there are 4 questions at last. Question number 4, 5, and 5, 6, and 7. There are 4 vector systems. We have done resolving part here. Now find the resultant. Resultant you have to done from the beginning, but no need to simplify the resolving component because you have already determined the answer. Therefore, you can directly take that answer. But remember, please do it from beginning. Find the x component and find the y component. Write that expression, then take the answer. Expression එක අරගෙන ඊට පස්සේ answer කරගන්න. Another Bhuti. Have I finished? Hmm. Yeah. Shall we discuss? Okay, I will do question number 5 and question number 6 and 7. 6 and 7. Ada kapiya paling kali sa 6 and 7 ni patan ganna. Question number 6. There are four forces. (50√3) into this side. Angle is 30. Then 100√3 into this side. Angle is 60. Then this angle is 30. This angle is again 60. 60√3, 90 divided by root. Now, first you have to resolve this vector system into x and y. So, if we consider the x component of this one. So, when you are taking the component, once you take the component of that force, please tick or please may mark it, put it. Otherwise, if the number of forces are too high, then sometimes you may miss it. Okay. 50√3 into cos 30. Cos 30. 50√3 into cos 30. 50√3 into cos 30. It will be positive. And this one, 90√3 into sin 60. Oh, this angle is 30, cos 30. Both are equal. Both are equal. Okay, then 50 root 3 cos 30 is here. Then 90 over root 3 cos 30 or sin 60. देखो मतलब 60 तक करना ना नहीं 60 तक करना ना 60 पर तक नहीं होती if you consider about 60 this is opposite direction therefore it will be sin 60 or if you want to consider about this angle it will be 30 it is into that angle that means cos 30 both are same either sin 60 or cos 30 is that clear take it now if you got that done please raise that Okay, sorry, okay, this one. Initially, force can be resolved into x direction. It will be 50 cos 30. 50 cos 30. Okay. Then you can take this angle or this angle. If you consider about this angle, it will be 90 or 9 plus. If you resolve this one into x direction, it will be directed towards the positive direction. Therefore, it will be plus 90 over root 3 cos 30, because this angle is 30, cos 30 or sin 60. Both can be okay. Both can be okay. Cos 30 or sin 60. Now sin 60. Because this angle, given angle is 60, no? Given angle is 60, it is not to the side of angle, therefore, it will be sin 60. Then these two will be negative. These two will be negative, therefore, negative 60 root 3. You are going to resolve the force into the direction of angle, therefore, cos 30. Then 100 root 3 minus 100 root 3, we are going to resolve the force into the opposite direction of the angle, therefore sin 60. Sin 60. Sorry. Then we can simplify this one. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Okay. Then 50 root 3 cos 30 means root 3 into 2 means 25 into 3 Puti. Root 3 over 2 means 25 into 3, that means 75. Plus cos 6, sorry, sin 6 means root 3 over 2. Then root 3 to root 3 will be cancelled out. 90 divided by 2 means 45. Minus, again root 3 over 2. 2 to 60 will be cancelled out. 30. 30 into 3 means 90. Minus 100 root 3 into sin 6 means root 3 over 2. Again, 2 waliin badala 3 waliin gadi kara. And you have to divide this by 2, multiply it again by 3. That means 50 into 3, 150. 150. Really? This one is 120 minus 240. 120 minus 240. 120 minus 240 means 120 into other direction. Therefore, x component is equal to this direction 120. 120. Then you can determine the y direction, y component. Y component. So y component is 50 root 3 sin 30. It will be positive into upper side. 60 root 3 again sin 30 again sin 30, that also positive. Then 100 root 3 and 90 root 3 cos 60. 100 root 3 minus cos 60 angle. Then 90 over root 3 cos 60 minus 90 over root 3 cos 60. Now we can simplify. Here half, half. That means 25. Here 30. 25 plus 30 is 55. 55 root 3 minus. Here half, that means 50. 50 root 3 minus 90 root 3 into half. Into half means 45 root 3. 45 root 3. Sorry, 45 over root 3. 45 over root 3 only, not root 3. These two will be simplified. That means 5 root 3 minus. But then this one can be written as 45 can be written as 15 into 3. 15 into 3, no? 15 into 3. Therefore, 15 into 3 divided by root 3. Now you can cancel out this root 3 with this one. Answer is root 3. Root 3. 3 divided by root 3 is root 3. Therefore, 15 root 3 minus, 5 root 3 minus 15 root 3 Puti. That means 10 root 3 into the other direction. Therefore, y component is in downward direction, not in upward direction. It is not in upward direction because now this is minus. 5 root 3 minus 15 root 3 means minus 10 root 3. Therefore, it should be into the other direction, 10 root 3. Is that clear? If you got my calculation, please raise the hand. If you got my calculation, please raise the hand. Now I can draw. These two vectors, two forces. One is 120 Newton force into this direction. The other one is 10 root 3 Newton into this direction. Therefore, definitely R should be into this direction. Therefore, R is equal to square root of this one plus the square of this one. If you take the square 100 into 3, if you take the square of 10 is 100, the square of root 3 is 3, 100 into 3, that means 300 plus the square of this one is 144, 00. 144, 00. That means 147, 00. 14700. හරියට වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay. Come on. බලන්න simplify කරන්නේ. But you know, I can take 100 out. I can take this, that means 100. The square root of 100 means 10, 10. 10 into square root 144. 147, 147. 147 means 144 means 20, 12, therefore this one might be 12 point, one more, 12.2, 12.1 is okay, no? Because the next one is 13, 169, this is 144, therefore 12.1 is much fair. Therefore, 10 into 12.1, that means 121 Newton. So this is the resultant vector. This is the magnitude of resultant vector. This is the magnitude of resultant vector. And also you can determine the direction with the horizontal or direction with the vertical. Tan theta. Tan theta should be equal to opposite side. Opposite side means this one over adjacent side. Opposite side is this one, that means this angle, this side, 10 root 3 divided by the adjacent side, 120. 120. This one will be cancelled out. Root 3 over 12. 12 means 4 times 3. 4 times 3. Therefore, root 3 into 4 into 3 would be. Then again, you can simplify 3 to this one is root 3 would be. Therefore, theta is equal tan inverse 1 over 4 root 3. That is the direction. That is the direction. So this is the magnitude of the resultant force, and this is the direction of the resultant force. Direction means with the negative x-axis. Is that clear? If it is clear, please raise the hand. Someone help me. හරිද? Okay. Now 12:30. So we can complete today's class today. Do you have any questions regarding to this lesson? Do you have any questions regarding to this lesson? No. Yeah. Okay. You have to go through the tune. You have to go through the tune. Then complete the sorry, complete the resolving part. Resolving part you have to complete with it. There are 7 questions. Then finding the resultant vector of vector system. Please do the first two questions. First two questions. Question number 1 and question number 2. Question number 1 and question number 2. I will give some direction to do other questions. So you have to complete up to this page. You have to complete all the questions up to this page and send that to me. Send that to me. As well as please send your note to check. මට යෝෂි දෙවල තිබ්බ මම බලලා ඉවරයි ටික. ඉතුරුත් පොඩ්ඩක් කියවන්න. අනිවාර්යයෙන් යවන්න මේ මොකද I need to check because if there is any mistake, I have to inform you earlier. Because when you are going to study them, then you may face some difficulties. Okay. Anyway, we can complete today's class. Then have a nice day. Bye bye. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, welcome.